give up and fall. Rise above the door, meet all my challenges and search for my strength. I defeat them all, I'm never ever gonna hide no more. I come to love myself again. Yeah. For all the things I didn't know, the pain, the hurt, I let it go. Start to believe in myself and life will be sweet again. So sweet again. Oh na 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 na. When all I see is darkness and gloom, yeah, I'll be running from my doom. Oh na 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 na. But now it's time to live my life, and now I know what I need to do. Can't stand right when it's blowing, pushing me down. Feels like I'm falling apart, yet I hold on. Head held high, can't fight this feeling off no more. But I'm not going to give up and fall. Rise above it all, meet all my challenges and search for my strength. I defeat them all, I never ever gonna hide no more. I come to love myself again, again. For all the things I didn't know, the pain, the hurt, I let it go. Let it go. And I start to believe in myself, and life will be sweet again. Oh na na, oh na 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 na. When all I see is darkness and gloom, yeah, I'll be running from my doom. Oh na 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 na. But now it's time to live my life, and now I know what I need to do. Oh na 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 na. When all I see is darkness and gloom, yeah, I'll be running from my doom. Oh na 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 na. But now it's time to live my life, and now I know what I need to do.
Man, that's a good song. That's Mama Zulu, Running from My Doom. It's written on the screen. Some of you guys type in like, hey, what's the name of that song? And some of you have noticed that I don't always type the right song. In fact, at the beginning of the stream, that wasn't even the right name of the song. And it shows you the level of professionalism that I have here today. Welcome, everyone. It is a cold, brisk, but bright day. This is episode 152, The Electricity of Deceit, and good morning. Good morning to you all. I'm glad to see you guys. Thanks for being here. It's a happy Tuesday. This is an interesting topic because what makes deceit so hard to talk about is how much we would like to pretend that none of us lie. We think that lying is bad, which I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm saying that we've rated everything around us. And I was kind of thinking that that because we rate things around us, we miss so much information because we're too busy judging something. So we're judging it as good or bad. Not that judgment itself is bad, because judgment itself is actually a good, healthy act. But we scorn the entire world with positivity or negativity. We scorn it with positivity. What are you talking about, James? You scorch the earth by calling it positive. By looking at little bits of the earth and saying, this little spot right here, this little spot right here. Damn it. Hang on a second. Trying to get all smooth here. This little spot right here is good, right? That's the good spot. This is the spot where all the good things are because it's a class, and and then over here, oh, these knives, those are bad spots. Those are X's, right? And we've got it all figured out. We rate the entire world that way. We rate the entire world off this system where before we even get to feel it, we're automatically getting a reading about how good or how bad something is. Where'd you go? Oh, he already got to it, guys. Yeah. He's trying to see, he's grabbed 4, and then he thinks he can walk around with 4, and he can't do that. Now, because we're rating every single thing around us, good, bad, that's good, that's bad, that's good, that's bad, that's good, that's bad, we're losing so much energy, so much. We're literally, it's just dumping in vats and vats. Giant gallon buckets of energy is being dumped into the air because we're too busy rating things. We're too busy deciding what's good and what's bad, and we wear these things like jewelry. We don't just wear the good things. We literally wear the things that we're saying are bad. It's part of our fashion. It's part of our fashion, and it's happening right now with Netflix. An anti-trend is a trend. And I don't even, I started off, I think I even used the word guilty of this. And so that's already I have to prove my lips, because it's actually not about guilt. This is actually about understanding the true nature of how this energy works. Of how not to be beyond good and evil, there is electricity. And you are participating in that electricity regardless of what you call good or evil, or regardless of what someone else calls good and evil. In fact, if you call something evil, it doesn't mean you're not going to do it. It doesn't. Right now, there is all over social media, there is a cluster bomb of fucking clips and screenshots of this show on Netflix. And it's a very controversial show, and it's a very salacious show. And it's disgusting people, and they're disgusting, and they're wearing that disgust as a fashion. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying let's look at our own electricity. And let's truly try and fathom what's happening with the current. Because what I see is people, Ben Shapiro is one, not that I actually saw him. But I'm seeing all these channels that are stressing how disgusted they are and how outraged they are while they're showing you the disgust and the outrage. And so you end up with an induction motor. It's working off the seal. It's working off the vacuum, the vortex that it creates. You can spin a turbine both ways. You pull, just like a fan. Think about it like a ceiling fan. If you place the ceiling fan up against the wall, you're not going to feel much current. And the reason why you're not going to feel much current is because, yes, the fan's blowing out. And all of us understand, fan blow out, fan good. Fan keep me cool, me understand. Me no longer caveman, me have fan from Sears. But what we don't understand is that the pushing requires the pull. It requires the backside of that to occur. And every time you call something good in this world, every single time that you call something good in this world, it's right here, buddy. It's right here. That when you do that, you're actually calling something evil. I know it doesn't seem like it. I know, because you're not actually the one that's saying that. And you can see the opposite of that when you're watching what's happening with Netflix. Because what ended up happening is something that should have never gotten any airtime at all, something that never should have gotten your worship, your money, your dues, none of it, is now being brought to the forefront as your standard, as your fashion statement about what you oppose. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's fashion is beautiful. You will hear, if you've read if you read Technology of Belief, you understand just how powerful fashion is. You understand that fashion controls war, it controls opinion, it controls thought, it controls art, it controls archetypes, it controls everything. There's nothing wrong Nothing wrong with fashion. But we have to understand the mechanics of it. We have to understand the mechanics that regardless of if you're pushing or you're pulling something, you're still engaged in that current. And I think because there's so much dissonant shame that's just everywhere, there's loudspeakers in the trees and all they broadcast is shame, shame, shame. Because of that, you and I are no longer allowed to tap in to our own shame because it's not as loud as the speakers in the trees. There's so many of them. I love that jump. There's so many speakers in the trees that they're drowning out the sound of your own shame. In fact, the speakers are so full of shame, 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 that you actually think shame is a bad thing. You're walking around like, yeah, shame sucks. Shame's bad. We have to get rid of shame. And you hear me say it. And I've never ever done a good job of explaining to you why I want you to love shame by letting go of it. Because I'm trying to get you to drop the superficial field that's been placed over everything. It's drowning out the authenticity of the most important barometric reader, electrical, I don't know what to call it. This shame sensor that you have inside is as delicate and high fidelity as you can imagine. And it's competing with air horns, whoopee cushions, and the sound of millions of men exhaling their essence out of them like some fucking twisted ritual of dark crystal. And that sound drowns out all of the truth that you have inside, and your truth is the needle of shame. Yes, because it's a push-pull. Because you will notice that when you personally do something shameful, your shame meter goes up. And then when you personally do something honorable, it goes down. And I'm trying to get you back in your body, those of you who are not in there, and I'm trying to get you to understand how to listen to these tools in a constructive way. It starts with negativity. It starts with re-rating our approach, our love affair with positivity, and taking a good hard look at negativity. Yesterday, OKCB, let me know what that guy's name was if you can think of it. There was a guy in chat. I was too busy, but everything, thank you, Deprogram, cannot blow that which has not been sucked. You're right. Thanks for the super chat. That guy yesterday, OKCB, he, like every third comment, he was explaining how negative I was being. It was like Timaeus or something. Anyway, I'm bringing him up because it's the perfect example of what I'm talking about. One of the many, many comments he had is he said, James, you're talking about skulls and coffins and bones. And that's just really negative. That just shows how negative you are. Yeah, Thomas Ramirez, thank you. It just shows how negative you are, James, because you're talking about things like death. And what Thomas doesn't see is his own electrical deceit. That deceit is he has rated death. Hasn't he? He's rated death. This is a skull. And you don't have to freak out about a skull. You don't. It's actually quite beautiful. There's a reverence to it. And I keep this skull, among other things, because it's something I can't buy. Not only that, it's something that I can't harvest. If I was to go out and say, I want a skull I'm going to go kill a creature. I'm going to drain all its parts and I'm going to bleach it in the sun and then I'm going to have a skull. That's not what I did. No, I found this skull. And when I found it, I didn't pull a Thomas Ramirez and go, oh, that skull is evil. We must run inside and scrub ourselves clean of all the essence of badness and negativity that we have found by seeing this skull. And it's a complete failure, isn't it? It's a fucking nosedive right into the mud. And he doesn't see it. He doesn't see that. And the reason why he doesn't see that is because he's literally talking about how negative his own behavior would be if he could see it. Do you understand how that force field works? The force field itself creates the blindness from his own deceit, which allows him to have the electrical power to broadcast how terrible that is for someone else to do it. And when I look at this skull that I found, I consider it more of a blessing. The blessing is that I didn't have to go out and kill an animal and skin it and remove its essence and all this other shit just to get the skull. I didn't have to do anything. I was in fucking alignment when I saw that skull. And not only was I in alignment when I saw that skull, I was in alignment in my approach to what I was seeing. Because I can look at the skull and I don't have to electrically give the sigil the charge that's been told and dictated by everyone around me, do I? I'm allowed to approach it as an infant. I'm allowed to approach it through a word that I've spoken many, many times about. In fact, Tisa and I might have had a disagreement about this. The power of the word ignorance. I approach that skull with the power of the word ignorance. And I'm able to approach it and look at it and experience it in a whole new way. I've bypassed the electric shame that the world places on this object so I can experience it in its totality without external fields. In a way, I am beholding this skull. I could call it Horatio. I could speak to it. I could project my feelings onto it. I could use it as a freaking scrying device. I could pull out my own fears, my own apprehensions to death. It's one of the most remarkable objects in the world, but the electricity around it has that negativity. And that negativity haunted that guy, Tomas or whatever. It haunted him all day. He took that with him. And as he was taking it with him, he was throwing it at me. He was undoing packages of cheese, right? Tossing them out the window at people walking by. You're the one being negative. You're the one being negative. And actually, if you listen to my talk yesterday about the skull and bones, there wasn't anything negative about it. We were actually explaining how secret society works. We were explaining how the ideas are embedded. I think it was probably one of the more positive conversations that I've ever seen online about secret society. I could be misjudging that. And it's not that I even have a problem because I want Thomas to, I love that Thomas gave me this fodder. I love it. This is exactly what I love to talk about because the electricity of this is telling us something. It's so great to see when you can look at it without the shame. You have to eliminate that original shame, the superficial shame, so you can see it deeper. Good morning, Sunbird Bear. $5. Thank you for the super chat. Good morning. Actually, he said morning. Thank you for that. Does that make sense? I realize I'm asking you a question that you can't answer. I can see the chat. But guys, until you can drop this negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. Do you understand that's where the energy goes? I don't think that we see this yet. I don't think that we see how much energy we're leaving on the field. Because the art of assigning something negative or positive is to physically take energy out of your essence and say, here, this is for you. Well, what is this for? Just for being good. And they're like, oh, well, great. And then, hey, Skull, this is for you. Hey, what did I do? Nothing. And so we're charging these items all the time. Remember how I told you worship's a garden hose and the spigot's broken and you can't turn it the fuck off? It's like that. Oh, you're like fucking X-Men, that Cyclops, the dude who couldn't close his eyes, right? Couldn't. Every time he opened his eyes, all this shit came out. I think it was Cyclops. You're like that, but with worship. And you're freaking out. You want to go to sleep. You're tired as fuck. You're so tired. But you know if you wake up in the morning, half your house is going to be fucking gone. You're going to be carving all these fucking laser lines right through it. The chimney, all of it. You shave the dog. It's terrible. So you want to offload that power. You want to get rid of it. You're just like, I can't have this. I can't have this. I can't be able to worship this powerfully. So you do things. You say, I am not responsible for my own healing. I need a surrogate to come. And that surrogate in a white coat is allowed to tell me what I'm allowed to tell my body it can do, but only after I swallow a piece of petroleum with a sigil on it. It's exactly what the fuck happens. And every time someone has a consult with me, we go over this. We're having this consult with someone, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching someone build these elaborate Rube Goldberg devices to unleash their own power. And it's silly. It's silly. And we have to fool ourselves. We have to be like, well, I need to unleash some raw power, but I can't let myself see it because then I'm going to be all like vigilant and stuff. So can you come over, pretend to suppress me, help me create this illusion? I've got the plastic handcuffs on. They're really fuzzy, so I love it. And can you help me just leak out just enough of my power to fix this problem I'm having? Because it's bothering me so much that I'm actually going to have to go in and pull some of my own power to get it. It's literally what we're doing all the time. All the time. And I'll tell you, this entire machine is built off amnesia and ignorance. And as much as we bitch about those things, that truly is the source of all power. Where is oh, here it is. Why are you sitting so close there, buddy? Yeah, there you go. Look how big that squirrel is compared to the dinosaur. I am a squirrel that likes to eat. Look how close he's letting me get. That's amazing. Yeah, he's done. So, we're hiding from our own power because it scares us. And it scares us so well that we've created, my hat's all fucked up. We've created this cabal army to create an excuse to allow us to subscribe to them to take our power away. It's literally what we do. I'm not in charge of my own air quality. We have the EPA. I'm not in charge of my own defense and my own borders. We have the military. I'm not in charge of my own neighborhood, making sure it doesn't burn down. I'm not in charge of my own safety. I'm not in charge of my own education. I'm not in charge of my children's education. I'm not in charge of our charity. I'm not in charge of fucking anything. And all of us are pretending we're enslaved, and we choose that. We want that. And it's okay that we want that. Please be ashamed of yourself right now and allow that shame of yourself to break and destroy the superficial shame that's been pushed on you. Because the moment you feel true shame about this is the moment your victimhood dissolves. Poof. It sizzles. in front of you, it evaporates instantly because you can no longer profit from it. And you look at me and you're just like, oh, you just raped my victimhood. Yes. Yes, I did. Because that is deceit. And I'm tired of deceit. I'm tired of it. Actually, let me rephrase that. I'm tired of our relationship to deceit. I think we could have a more honest relationship with deceit. You heard me. Joe. And you know if you're having an affair, you're a polygamist? I posted that on Facebook today. I'm actually having people debate me. One girl's like laughing, like, there's nothing wrong with an affair. Affairs are great. Why are you talking shit about an affair? I liked you. Why are you bashing an affair? And an affair is deceit. In fact, an affair is masturbation with electricity. What? An affair is masturbation with electricity. And how it works is, by hiding something, you create a vortex on your adrenaline because you were afraid of getting caught. And as long as you were afraid of getting caught, you now have electricity that didn't belong to you before because your adrenaline is pumping. It is just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And you go over to that person's house or gas station, restaurant. I'm not here to judge. And you alchemize that electricity in real time. And you masturbate with it while someone else is in the room. And the information, the secrecy that you have, the fact that you're keeping this from someone else, is your strap-on. That is your electrical, that is what you're using to enjoy yourself. And it works so well that people will carve their lives out of these things. They will move their world. One of my first girlfriends was having an affair with her husband for like years and years and years. And we would talk sometimes. And I would just tell her what a shitty person she was. Like all the time. Just like directly to her. Just like, so you're going to have dinner with him tonight? Like talking about her husband. You're going to go home and you're going to have dinner with him tonight. She's like, yeah. He's a really bad guy, James. You don't get it. And it's exactly what Thomas was doing yesterday. Skulls are evil. You're negative. You're negative for looking at skulls. It's the exact same energy. It is. It's the exact same energy. And she's a polygamist. And I don't even mean that in an insulting way. I'm just using the word. People who have affairs are polygamists. That's all. They're polygamists. They're practicing polygamy. They're like, hey, I would like to try polygamy for a while, and I'm not going to fucking tell my husband or my wife or my girlfriend or my boyfriend. And that's literally what happens electrically. But because of the shame that's all around us, because of our own victimhood, because we feel so victimized, we are in a state of evacuation where we are allowed to treat other people like shit. The people that treat you the worst are the ones that are the most in pain. They are the ones that are the most evacuated from their cockpit. And you will not see them in pain. You will see them doing well. You will see them succeeding. You will see them taking over. And all that is from that motor, that induction motor, by the way. The motor that we all call negativity is actually a driving force for most of us. Some people say I'm a good writer, and that is because I secrete emotional trauma through ink onto a page, and you fucking love it. Those of you who like my books. And I'm happy to secrete that because I have it. It's a great product. It's my honey. And I hope that you find it pure. I hope you find it authentic. I hope you find it healthy. And I strive every day with every sentence to give you the best honey I can from that. I don't mind it because I have a different relationship with negativity, with heartbreak, with deceit, with deception. When someone cheats me now, I more marvel over how deep they could stick the knife in. I find that fascinating. I find it fascinating to see how much I'm willing to bleed for certain people versus others. I'm learning about myself every moment that I can. And we all should. We all should, because it makes our field ring stronger, our fieldings. Our entire auric field becomes stronger when we're willing to look at ourselves naked. When we're willing to look at ourselves without the outside judgment and just see it for what it truly is. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Deceit is everywhere. I said this yesterday. It's part of courting. It's natural, even. And you pull from your field. Because for you to deceive someone, you have to pull shit out of your field. And that shit you pull out of your field is your dignity. And the sad part about dignity is once you get below 12%, you don't even notice it anymore. You realize, you know what? I don't really need air conditioning. I don't need to have an air conditioner right now. That's what you tell yourself. And you just learn to go without it. You learn to go without dignity. And the less dignity you have, the more affairs you have, the better it feels. In fact, you start to notice that that's really the only thing that does feel good. Because you've lost your parthenia. Something else we talked about in technology belief, parthenia. This parthenia is an essence that builds up, like a charge. And you build it up, it's like innocence, it's like a plasma of virginity, is what parthenia is. In fact, the Parthenon was named after Parthenia, the Parthenon. It's this essence. And when you go into an affair, you're bringing the deceit that it's not polygamy. And that's the electricity of it. That's why we do it. We don't do it because we're bad people. We do it because the electricity saves us. It helps us. We make deals with this electricity all the time. Our entire culture is based around that. Tease. So James is writing his musings on suffering drama. What would it read if you were to muse on joyful excitement? Just a thought. I would hope that if you read my book, you would see all that joyful excitement. I believe that the joyful excitement is part of the wave and trough. And the trough is the trauma, the loss, and the rise is the excitement and the anticipation. And the authenticity of everyone involved is the amplitude of the wave itself. The purity of it. I've long given up that the way to live a successful life is to find the most joy and the most passion. I've noticed that I flatline in those spots. I see this with a lot of rich people. They're living in this rich house, so they're always surrounded with clean, bright, white, crisp, and they end up degrading. See, I don't think we get that cavities are contagious. We don't understand how that works yet. And when you start to understand how contagious calories are, how contagious cavities are, you start to fix your own. And the only way you can fix your own, in my opinion, is to learn how to find those waves and troughs and to engage in a flow state in those seasons. Because if I can learn to harvest my loss, the gains will be that much better. They'll be that much more potent. They'll make for that much better riding. Man, Some of those scenes in there in that book are really, really nice scenes. I just, we never really embraced we don't really embrace our negativity, which is, I think, why we repeat so much of it. If that makes sense. Jack68, the great super chat. Best violation ever. Thank you. Happy to violate that. Happy to rape your victimhood. Thank you, Tease. I hear you, man. It's going to take a while to get over this relationship. Because that calling things evil all the time is giving us a veil. And that veil is something we can hide behind. We can hide behind the veil because we're calling something else evil. And it's part of understanding how this electricity works, but we're too busy falling in love with the things that we're being told. It's just so easy to enjoy these stories. This yesterday, Independent, plausible signs of alien life discovered on Venus. And then when you read this, you realize, well, actually, this is not a smoking gun. And you start to realize what they're doing is they've told you that they think they found phosphor or something, some gas. Forget the word right now. And none of us can verify. Not you can't verify it. You can't verify it. You can't. None of you can do it. This isn't science. This is fantasy. And if you've seen the deep space stuff, we've covered this so many times before. Look at how many times Lynn D. Rothschild, microbiologist for NASA, explains how it rains diamonds on Neptune and Pluto had an orgasm last month. Yeah, it's true. It actually spooged all over space. And she's telling you these fucking stories. And we love it. We love it. Because if you believe in the vacuum of space, you believe that there is an ever-present sucking force to pull all the responsibility and power out of you, to pull all of it. You don't have to own that. You don't have to wield that much Cyclops power. And what's interesting is that these people know how the archetypes work. They know that Venus is there to melt lead. They know that Venus would be a hellish environment. In fact, I think that this is fascinating if you consider how much work all of us have done on Venus lately. I would like you to consider my work on the Lucifer. I would like you to consider Robert Seffer's putting out a video within 2 weeks. I would like to consider Marty Leeds putting out a video almost like the same day. And you will look across the board that there is a striving, an electrical force striving to connect with Venus. And there are giants that are afraid of it. You see that play out in real time. And as some of you bitch, oh, you shouldn't be fighting with anyone. And so you're doing the same fucking thing as Thomas was. We can't talk about skulls. That's negative. So you're missing all the electricity. Because what I see is there's an archetypal battle. There's a fucking Thunderdome battle happening right now for Lucifer and Venus. People are fighting over what it means. They're fighting so bad that the elites are suggesting there's life there. And I know we can dismiss all this as coincidence, but not in my dojo you can't. Because coincidence is our excuse to be blind. That's what coincidence. Coincidence literally means I don't see, therefore it doesn't mean anything. But what if you start looking at the electricity? What if you have more calories to spend because you're not too busy rating everything like a materialist? Like a fucking Medusa. I turn you to stone, you're good. I turn you to stone, you're bad. I turn you to stone, you're good. I turn you to stone, you're bad. And then after all that, then you can come back and have a fucking relationship with the world. But only after you've rated everything first. It's such an insane way of thinking. But it's become the norm. This is an archetypal battle happening right now. And we shouldn't run away from that. We should be engaging. We should. All of us should be doing that. I've told you guys this over and over and over again. All of this is belief. Everything around you is belief. And these guys are telling you that researchers you've never met, they don't even list their names. Researchers have decided that there could be alien life on Venus because one of them was finally given telescope time, and he wasn't given that telescope time until he wrote a dissertation. Unless he theoretically suggested that something could be true if he did that, which means the entire science is back asswards. You're building the car starting with the fucking exhaust. And you're saying exhaust means car work. And you're putting glass caps on that shit, making it as loud as fuck as you're going 7 miles an hour down the neighborhood. Climate change. And that's deceit now. That's the electricity of it. You got to follow the electricity of this stuff because it's right there. Come here, buddy. It makes you wonder what a researcher even is. I'll just say that. Now, to sign a contract on an unforgivable loan to regurgitate information in exchange for a credential. That's your expert. In fact, as an expert, you've told these people that they're the ones that get to go around and assign what's good and what's bad. Except for instead of what's good and what's bad, it's called what's acceptable and what's not. What's real and what's not. And they built their entire life on the false supposition that there is an objective reality and everyone has to see the same thing. And some of you are still under that. I think some of you are still suffering that, and you're fighting this like I used to fight flat earth. I would have to wake up every morning and remind myself that this wasn't a ball spinning. I had to remind myself that. And I had to remind myself that because I was infected with ball earth. I was infected with it for so long, I would catch myself in ball earth mode. I would catch myself. And we only catch ourselves maybe in language. No, I would catch myself in thought, in observation. I'm talking about how I was picturing the world on a deeply archetypal level. I realized I was still doing it. And the same thing is happening right now with good and evil and electricity. You're fighting this right now. I'm fighting this right now. We are trying to resist this idea to label things because we want to truly see them for what they are. That's where we're at now in the dojo. We see all electricity here. We're not a Jim Crow establishment, right? We only serve white electricity here. Sorry, we only analyze and serve white electricity. The black electricity, you guys got to go out the fucking back because you're evil. It's electric bigotry, isn't it? Electrical bigotry. Holy shit. Holy shit, that's a term. Electrical bigotry is what it is. And we can get better. But we have to drop these illusions. We have to drop these approaches. Let me see here. Funeral, we got that. Affairs are polygamy. Deception is the source of passion. Imagine going over to your lover's house and saying, "Hey, baby, I want to get it on." She's like, "Okay, let's get it on." She's like, "Great, great." Then you start to you get some wine or whatever. You start to work on it. And then you notice that she's like turning on all these electrical devices and plugging them in. You're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" She's like, "Well, I need to have this affair over here. I need this electricity over here, and I need this electricity." It's how I do it. And we spend all of our lives having... Man, we are fucked right now when it comes to relationships. We are fucked. I asked a girl out on a date 3 weeks ago. And she looked at me like I was nuts. She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, do you want to go to this thing with me? She's like, I thought we were going to that thing. I was like, yeah, do you want to go to this thing with me? It's like, I don't understand. That's where we're at. That's where we're at, where hyenas are laughing when I say, I think maybe having an affair is bad. And like 1/3 of the chicks are like, I don't know, I think affairs are great. I think they're awesome. And I'm doing the same thing, aren't I? I'm rating electricity. See, I'm an electrical bigot too. I am. I'm an electrical bigot too. Now, I have a different perspective on polygamy. I can call that polygamy because I can look at that and I can say, okay, you're into that weird shit. You're a disassociated personality. I get it. And I can see that person as disassociated and fully accept them. I don't see deceit. I see disassociation. I'm still judging it, but that's because I don't like disassociated people. I don't want to have a relationship with a fucking Trivial Pursuit pie hole. Right? I don't want to come up to a person and go, oh, you have two out of 6 pies for me. Well, that's great. Let's just do it. Yeah, let me take my pants off. And that's where we're going. That's where we've been. That's where we've been. And now I'm a fucking prude. Because I'm going around going, hey, I think maybe affairs are deceit. And like deceit's kind of shitty. That's where we're at. We're in the Thunderdome. We're fighting for that too. Which comes back to that Netflix thing. Because I keep telling you guys, the internet's not ours. It is not ours. And you can pick and choose what you want, but you need to look at your fashion. You need to look at your fashion. You can't pretend, well, I'm only promoting this because we have to save the internet. No. That's fashion. There's nothing wrong with fashion. But let's have an integrity to our vibe. You see, if you have integrity, if I have integrity, if we are all holding each other accountable, if none of us are having fucking affairs while everyone else is laughing, going, yeah, I support, hey, you're not having an affair with me, so you having an affair on him doesn't bother me at all. That's where we're at right now. Where we're at is like, skulls are evil. Skulls are negative. You're right, Kieran. We've been reduced to prudes. Yeah, we've been reduced to that. It's weird. In fact, I think that younger people look at me like now, like, oh, there's just an old guy. That's what old people think. They think there's like monogamy. That guy believes in monogamy, is what they say. Yeah, he's one of those old fucks. He believes in monogamy. Yeah, right. While they're plugging in all that electricity. Right? All that's gone. All that's gone. All those fields are gone. It sucks. It sucks because women are awesome. And it sucks that's the new norm now. I don't know how we're going to get that back. I know. Welcome to the club, James. You too, Steve. It sucks. It sucks. And God, how do I say this without saying it? I get contacted all the time. I get propositioned all the time, and they're married. They're committed. They're with someone. And all I feel is just sorrow for their husband. I just feel so much. I don't even know the guy. Like my girlfriend, my first girlfriend would call me. I never met her husband. And she would tell me awful stories about him. And all I could do is feel how fucking sorry I felt for him. That while he was at work, she was at home having all these affairs, calling. It was just, it was pure electrical deception. And my friend didn't hate her husband. My friend hated herself. She hated herself. And she needed some kind of distance from herself when other witnesses were in the room. And the way she created that distance from herself was to create up a wall of deceit, an electrical field of deceit, meaning I can't let him in. He will find out I had an affair today. I can't let him in. And that gives her comfort because it allows her to separate from her own fucking family. And the whole time she's pretending, no, my son, he's protected. He doesn't know what's going on. And the cast of fucking Frozen is in that house. And I've had those titties. They're not witch's titties. Her titties they're leprosy. They're leprosy because they've turned into this essence. This different kind of dark crystal essence. It's the push or the pull, right? If you're going to give something energy, you're going to have to take it from something else. If you're going to give an affair energy, you're going to have to take it from your partner. It's like, well, yeah, but sometimes you just really need someone to touch and to comfort you. It's like, yeah, like a partner. Yeah, like that's pretty much the function of a partner. Well, my partner won't do that. Then you don't have a partner. Well, it's not that easy, James. If you don't have a partner, it is that easy. If you don't have a partner and you're pretending like you do, you're not being honest with your field. Well, it's just not that easy. Nothing is fucking easy here. You know what's easy here is to evacuate. You know what's easy here is to have a fucking affair. You know what's easy is to go around labeling everything as fucking evil because you don't want to think about it. To walk in through chat and spend every fifth sentence, I can't believe how negative this guy is. This guy's so negative, it's just really shitty. You know, it's like super negative. God, what a negative. Oh, he's negative again. And you don't even see your own vortex. You don't even see your own churning. You don't even see that motor, and it's right the fuck in front of you. And that's why I don't mind us talking about deceit, as long as we can be honest with how much we do it to ourselves. And we need part of this deceit. We do. You need that for your field. You need to feel safe. You need to feel confident. You need to feel secure. If you do not have that vibration inside you, that oscillation of comfort inside you, you're going to have to build a wall. And while that wall is built, you're now allowed to create construction projects inside yourself to fix it. I have zero problem with that. There's not one time I will ever tell anyone you should not have boundaries. You should absolutely have boundaries. Having an affair is not a boundary. Having an affair is blocking your own energy. And it's stronger than a boundary because boundaries require your will and you don't have the will for it. If you did, you wouldn't be in that partnership. It wouldn't be functioning the way it is. And since you don't have the will for it, all you can do is build a boundary with lie, with the deceit. And anyone who tries to approach you, who engages in that lie, ends up losing their energy to you because they extended their witness and trust to you and believed your lie because that's what you're supposed to do when you trust someone. And that deceit is a cavity. You've degraded them in your presence. And those cavities are contagious. And they spread so far, you turn into a fucking hyena where you're just like, LOL, affairs are great. They add the spice and the life of passion. And without passion, we are nothing. And you end up in this whole other realm, this whole other existence, where your lies are functionally the only thing keeping you afloat. And you're completely empty on the inside. You're a cicada, an empty cicada shell, right? It looks just like it. It looks just like that bug, but it's empty. And if you truly understand what a job is, what employment is, what procedure are, what uniforms are, you see that all these are the same. It's creating that outer shellacking coat so time itself can dissolve you from the inside. And this is the deceit that's so painful that we don't like to talk about. We don't like to say that we do that to ourselves. But we do that every day. Cicadas are pretty badass. So, talked about Netflix, talked about researchers. The electricity of a lie is actually pretty pretty simple. The moment that you're holding information, I want you to look at that like a capacitor. The moment that you're holding information, you're a capacitor. You're literally storing information, right? You're holding the truth from someone. That truth is energy, is electricity. That truth is electricity inside you. Oh, I'm holding the truth. I'm holding deception. I'm holding the field. You have all that power. You have it all. You have the sole possession of that power, which means you're the one who gets to open the gate. You're the one that gets to decide who gets this power when they do. And you'll go to your other person, say you're having an affair with, and you'll give it to him. You'll say, here's all my power. You and me are sneaking around behind his back. And then you can share it. You can masturbate with it. That's what an affair is. So if you think about it, all of us are information capacitors. In fact, if you look at what a secret society does, they're storing raw information. The information is that the climate change is a hoax. The power is the billions and trillions of dollars that are built up in the capacitor. All that's potential energy. And because we fear our own power, we pay other people a subscription service that we call the government to take that power away from us and hide it so we can keep deceiving ourselves. And that's the only thing holding you down. It's the only fucking thing holding you down. And it's all victimhood. And that all dissolves the moment you drop the fetish for negativity or the fetish against negativity, whichever. I feel for you, Bryn. Took me a long time, but I realized some men just want a blow-up doll, not a person. Unfortunately, blow-up dolls can't give children. It's happening on both sides. I didn't mean to make that all about men, Bryn. It's happening on both sides. I feel you. It's just happening. It's all around. Let's see. Info capacitors. Dreamy Dudes. Dreamy Dudes said, hey, James, what do you think alien abductions are? And I think that goes back to what I was saying earlier, that objective reality is bullshit. It's a myth. We think that we have objective reality, but we don't. Guys, all of us are perceiving the same energy, all right? I'm not saying we're not. We are all perceiving the same energy. But keep in mind, that energy is coming into your pineal. And from there, it's distributing itself to your ears, your eyes, your nose, your taste, your touch. And through those distributions, it's only allowed to pass what the amygdala deems as appropriate. And when you truly start to pay attention to this, to realize, wait a minute, so there's all these filters based on our comfort level? Yes, now you know exactly what I mean by there's no objective reality. Reality itself is emotionally objective. And some of you think, well, that means it's subjective, and that's because you're retarded. You don't understand what I'm saying. This is one of the biggest schisms, I think, with some of the bears. It's like, well, it's just because he thinks relative. It's just like, yeah, just shut the fuck up then. Because I'm telling you, it's objective reality rendered emotionally. It's rendered emotionally. And you guys, you don't even see how simple this is in World of Warcraft. If you're playing a multiplayer online game, any multiplayer online game, the video card in your machine is going to render a completely different world versus the next guy. A higher end video card is going to see a lot more triangles on it. A lower render video card is not. The shading, the ray tracing, the particle effects, even the gravity sims are different. Because the video card itself determines what kind of reality can come through. It's the aperture. All of you fuckers are God's video cards. You're here to render this game of Dojo Earth for God. Of course it's going to be different. Of course it is. You're a completely unique machine. Sorry, but you guys don't like the word machine. You're a completely different biological entity that's there to serve a purpose and a function for some higher higher power that you can't actually directly perceive or maintain. There. Thanks for the book, Are You Into It? Enjoy your day at work. So, if you can render the same video game that everyone's sharing differently, depending on your video card, why the fuck can't you accept that people would see the same world differently with different apertures? And the only reason why is because the electrical fear you have, that means the morality is a compass inside you, that you're a producer of morality, and that when you have an affair, you're producing immorality. And as you're laughing about it, you're producing immorality. And as you're justifying it, you're producing immorality. And if you stop and you bite the bullet, guys, I told a 27-year-old I was not going to have an affair with her in the woods. You don't think I don't think this is hard? Holy shit. This is fucking hard. But that would have degraded me. That would have destroyed me. And that shows me where's James True's electrical field. Where's his own boundary where he cares about himself enough? And I can tell you where it is. It's at a 27-year-old who wants to meet me in the woods and have an affair with another guy. That's where it is. That's where my boundary finally goes, whoa, I've had enough. Fuck that. I'm not participating in this deception triangle. I'm not. I don't want to go masturbate in the woods with someone. And that shit's hard. Of course it's hard. What we don't understand because of Hollywood is that the enemies we face, they're not like these fucking Wookallars, right? They're not that beast from Return of the Jedi. The monsters we face, we care about, we love, we lust over. We want so bad for it to work out. Those are the monsters we face. The ones you can't fight. The ones you got to find agreement with. The ones you will do anything you can to see if you can resolve the electricity of it all. And that is what truly makes this a Thunderdome, Dojo Earth, is because your opponent is a woman that you loved a decade ago. A woman that you pledged your life to. A woman that every morning when you wake up, she's right there. And a woman that you fucking hate and despise because of your own shame and lack of compassion for your own electricity. And the same vice versa, right? The man that's supporting your family. Do you feel the most distant from him than anyone else in the world? And you share a bed with that guy. That is fucking dojo sparring, isn't it? Isn't it? That guy shares your bed at night. That's how close the enemy is. And that's what makes this so hard, because these aren't things, it's not like someone's coming in to burn your house down and you get to yell and claim, oh, how dare you? You wronged me and I will avenge myself. No. It's the person that you stood on top of a mountain with and said, I love you, I will commit to you the rest of my life, and now I fucking hate your guts because I look at you in the morning. So I'm going to have an affair last night or whatever. I've said this before, and this is going to sound nihilistic. So come on back in here, Timaeus, the dude that was bitching yesterday, because I know this will sound nihilistic. I don't think it is nihilistic. My friends, Babylon is here to eat us all. Every bit. It is here to eat us all. And the more you accept that, the closer you will be to realizing that the convictions that you can take with you to the other side are all the totality of who you are. And right now you are making choices with those convictions. Choose wisely. Choose wisely, or you will end up cackling like a fucking hyena telling me how funny it is that someone might object to an affair. You'll end up in that spot where she posted 4 times. It shows you the energy. Oh, I'm not splintered. I'm a complete person. It shows you the addiction. It shows you the shame vortex. And it shows you the electricity of how it works. Thank you, Randall Cromer. That's a very nice thing to say. I'm glad you found my channel too. And I hope that you also will never stop being the person you are. So thank you. Orbit 23, breaking up with Babylon ain't always easy. It's never easy because Babylon loves you. And it's a leprosy kind of love. What I mean by that is Babylon is your whore. She's your whore. She will do whatever it takes to get you to stay in her bed. And she doesn't yell at you like James Drew does. She doesn't scold you. She doesn't shame you. She sucks your toes. She feeds you banana pudding through a beer bong. Beer funnel bong, right? Banana fucking pudding with the softest Nilla wafers that have gotten cold a little bit, congealed a little bit. They kind of become their own sort of pudding. Of course it's hard, guys. That's why you're here. Of course it's hard. Yeah, Poison Ivy's right, Adam. Poison Ivy's right. Grievances. Some of you have got to have a grievance. Some of you have got to have a grievance. Come on. It's 12:07 on Tuesday. You mean to tell me you don't have a grievance? Let's see who's got a grievance for today. Let's go. Oh man, greatest visuals. Thank you, Steve. It's not a grievance. God, James, you brought tears to my eyes today, says D Mac. Now there's a good grievance. Thank you, D. We're getting there, buddy. That's salt. It's being secreted. That's truth, my friend. You just exchanged wisdom with the universe. You're like, wisdom, you're like, universe, I will give you my tears if you will use it to season Dojo Earth. The salt in my tears, please use it to season Dojo Earth. And in exchange for that, I will feel a little bit lighter. And the universe said, I will take you up on that, D. Thank you. Thank you. Bradley McCarthy has a huge beef with me. So much that he gave me $5.02. Gratefulness, integrity, toughness. Great substance today. Check that P.O. box, son. I will, Bradley. Thank you. Appreciate that. Not one complaint, says a Nemophilus. That sort of sounds like you're complaining, Nemophilus. Just saying. Just kidding. I have a grievance. Do 2-hour show. Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate that. Got your email today. If you thought that I was ever, against you, Stephen, I don't remember that. Maybe I have been. I have been blocking some people. I've been kind of a dick. Guys, if I'm going to block some of you sometimes. I am. I'm not. When I preach about compassion, I am not here to say, hey, why don't you see how many tomatoes you can throw at me? And then the second that I complain over the 17th one, I say, hey, would you stop doing that? Then you get to say, see, you don't have compassion. Guys, I'm allowed to be a dickhole. I'm allowed to be the biggest son of a bitch in the world, and I can still have compassion. These two are not synonymous. They're not. They're not the same. And we're learning that here, which is why we're able to apply compassion, because we realize compassion is not consent. Delicious Nilla wafers aren't worth the Babylon herpes. Thank you, Rachel. You're absolutely right. Thank you, son. 777 Ra, for the super chat. I didn't tell you guys about aliens, nor did I speak about reincarnation, and we will talk about that. I will tell you this much, though. You are not yourself. You are your entire DNA line. You are an avatar right now. You're representing that line right now. Just want you to know. That's why you can enslave your children just like you can liberate your grandparents. You can do both. That's how powerful you are. James, what do you think about porn? I just described to you what porn is, Orbit 23, if you think about it. It's masturbating with electricity that doesn't belong to you. See what I did there? That's all porn is. Porn, affairs, polygamy. You're masturbating with electricity that doesn't belong to you. It's built off deceit. That's what I think about porn. I'm glad porn's there, by the way. I'm glad it's there. I'm not like one of these book burners that says, if we burn all these books, they'll never, ever be written again. We need, not only do we need those books written, but we need to understand those books. We need to see the pitfalls in those books. Marty Leads Live, 222, compassion. Obvious shill, of course. I am the shill pushing compassion. Actually, that's a good argument to make right now. against me for doing that. Because if anything, I'm the one that's trying to eliminate that dissonance so we can find our own dissonance in ourselves and use it as radar. And that would really, 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 really fuck shit up right now. In a good way, right? Grievance, no Zuki dogs. Ideas for free. I am working on that. Guys, I'm saving every dime I have to get this land. The land that we tried to do with Owen Benjamin, the land we tried to do with Benjamin Balderson. We're going to get this land. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. And when it does, Zuki dogs for all. In fact, I would like to encourage you guys, if you want to buy my book, if you want to join me on Patreon, if you want to join the dojo, all it will do is help. That's all it will do is help. So thank you for that. I do not... Oh, guys. I can't do a dojo today. I really want to. I really do. In fact, we're so close that other moderators could take over and do the dojo without me. But I can't do a dojo today. I've got to get this book done. I've got to. And there's just been so much going on that what today I need to print out some books. And I got to get those books down to the post office because a lot of you guys have ordered them. Thank you. And then I got to write this book. I got to get this book out. I got to. And chapter 3 is slowing me down because it's about Epstein. And I'm getting all upset about it because all the things that have happened with Epstein, we're all walking around pretending like, yeah, Epstein means good things are happening. And it's more deceit. It's more electrical deceit. So there will be no dojo today. Please forgive me. I'm really looking forward to it tomorrow. I'm actually loving where the dojo is going. I didn't even want to cancel it, but I need this day to do that. Zuki dogs on Thursday. See, Shipmoth's got Zuki dogs going on. She's got them on Thursday for the new moon. So there you go. You just have to go to Scotland. It's not far. Stop being such a victim, man, and swim to Scotland. Jeez. It's a joke. James, what is your zodiac? I am born on the May the 4th be with you. That is my birthday. So I'm a Taurus. L. James, after the 10 to 5 done and energy again, the waste seed meals make me feel hungover for days and takes weeks to start feeling ultra good again. Men are all hungover, but not know it. That's a tough one. Go write the book, bro. Thank you, Farm Cat. Appreciate that. Porn is an extremely valuable weapon, says Legion James. Do not watch it. Stop watching it if you do. If you do watch porn, pay attention to the electricity. That's all I'm asking. Guys, I was so sad on Friday, I went and bought a piece of dark chocolate cake. I've been fasting a lot. I have not been eating a lot. And that chocolate cake fucked me up, guys, for like days. And I don't feel bad that I had that chocolate cake. I was glad I have it. I paid attention to the electricity as it went through my body. And I think if you truly want to drop porn, you won't say it's awful, it's terrible, no one should do it. Oh, we should have this crusade. What you should do is, if you're going to watch porn, pay attention to the electricity inside you before and after. Because if you're truly paying attention, you realize, ugh, this is fucking weird as shit. See, the addictions solve themselves when you look at the electricity. The addictions solve themselves when you look at the electricity. Do you see what I mean? So the key is not to eliminate all the temptations. The key is to be present as we fall for the temptations. Do you see the difference? It's such a massive, massive difference. Massive difference. Tease is going to email me 2 typos from Quantum Rapture. Thanks, Tease. Looking forward to that. And I definitely want to fix those. I do appreciate that. It's just funny. Yes, I do fast GMW. I'm not like an official. I'm not like one of these badasses. It's like, I've gone 8 days without fasting and my butthole can't fit an eraser in it. You know, I do fast. Actually, for whatever reason, I fast always before these new moon campfires. Typically, people want me to say something there, and I'm so afraid that I'm not going to say something profound, so I starve myself because I'm hoping that I can like cause a secretion to happen where something good will come out. So honestly, these new moon campfires have been something that's caused me to start fasting, sort of involuntarily, if that makes sense. Like it's not like my neocortex was like, I'm going to fast. But yeah, I've been doing that. It's really powerful. For me, it's very powerful because I've always had an addiction to food, and now I find myself quite liberated from it all. When I see food now, I typically see it as a movie poster. When I look at all food now, it's very seasoned and just glittery and shit. I'm just like, can you calm down? You just be a fucking carrot for once. You know, it's something that's fasting's given me there. So anyway, all right, guys, I see you guys are like ready to get out of here. Yes, energy is awful after that, Marty. Exactly. I enjoy seeing my breath too, Jax. That's a big part of why people smoke. Hey, happy birthday, Amanda B. Amanda B will be 38 next week. You guys go out there and crush it. D-Live, thank you so much. Thank you, Dana Ray, for being present. Thank you, Big Love of the Tribe. Yep. CBD Store Bear, you fall asleep right after with a meat missile in your hand. Love you all, says Woodwoes. Much love, Tribe. James, don't podcast when the elites need to stop tunneling these undergrounds. It's distracting, James. You're right. I should stop doing that. All right, guys. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me today. Enjoy the rest of your day, and looking forward to what happens tomorrow. Hopefully, be a little bit warmer.
You said it yourself, this will not work if we are miles apart. Wake up alone, your fans are closed. Reach for something that you're not. Oh, you need to calm down, honey. You need to calm down. You don't like your hair, but I think it's beautiful. We just need to